Hey folks, what's up? It's Dylan, not DDO47. Again, I'm sorry, alright? I know all the people that watch my videos for games are just like, again, yeah, you gotta be kidding me. 2 videos in a row and now a third one. I had to do it, okay? I had to kickstart the series off good. This series. If you can see, I did do a little remodeling back here. I redid this whole section over here. Yoda's now almost fully covered, and you can just like see his like creepy little frown in the background. Not an intentional rhyme, by the way. And a couple new additions to decorations is the pumpkin, because Halloween's coming, and you know, it's one little pumpkin, and I can literally just pick it up and put it back on my desk when I'm done with the video. So might as well just put it down over there. And then we have some Disneyland stuff right here. Boba Fett's wrist gauntlets. One's functional and the other one is just like a giant chunk of plastic that looks really cool. And then we have something actually functional. This up here, the First Order Nerf gun. And I actually have it back at Target, not sponsored again, right now. Or I think they had it back at least. It's kind of more of like a resell thing. Like I'm really close over here. Anyway, today we will be talking about this little trend, or a trend, kind of a thing, and the Always Believe channel is doing it. So their link will be the top link down below. So my 21 people, hopefully more at this point, can go and check them out. But this is where I'm getting the trend from. So it's not like I created this myself, okay? Just copying a trend because I can. And this is 2020 questions about Disneyland. I wrote it down so I don't forget. Because I know I'll definitely forget. But we will get to those decorations soon. Maybe not in this video, but soon, okay? You see up here I have like a little garrison of blasters, I guess. Over here I have more of like I don't know where I was going with that, but it definitely wasn't a joke because it wasn't funny. Anyway, the first thing is the first memory of your visit. What was your guys' first memory of Disney? When do you guys first remember? I mean, I can't remember much. And Star Wars shirt, again, because, you know, obviously. But what I do remember a lot is the original Matterhorn. That's what I mainly remember. Like, I think back when I was little, I remember remembering the original Matterhorn. Like the one where it had like 2 monsters, and you're like, oh, they're so scary. And then like, they're just not that scary, obviously. But when you're a kid, you know, everything's like bigger or more scary, or like more this, more that than it actually is, you know. Because if I would have rode that ride now, I'd have been like, oh, this, you know, this is kind of, oh, okay. You know, it'd just kind of be like, not really doing it for me, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, that was probably my first memory. And another thing too, I was really into Star Wars, like really big when I was little. That's why I literally got these, and a couple other souvenirs from Disney. And they're all Star Wars, ironically enough. Anyway, basically, I also remember looking at Big Thunder Mountain when I was little and being like, oh, it's Geonosis, or whatever. And it was so funny because now I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's Wild West. And like, I didn't think of it like I knew it was Wild West, like when I was a little kid, but I'd just look at like the singular spire that like goes up into the sky, and I'd be like, oh, it's the Geonosian spires. And if you look in the movie, they look pretty much identical. So I mean, possibly Disney was going for Geonos, but they're just like, nah, we'll just make it into a Wild West theme. But I mean, I don't know, but that's what I thought. So now, the second thing is least favorite memory. Now, the least favorite memory I had was, now by the way, this is kind of my own taste, because on Always Believe they have their own set of questions. I used some of theirs and then some of mine and just kind of mushed them together, I guess. But my least favorite memory was probably when you have to leave. Like when I was a kid, at the end of the day, and they're like, oh, it's time to go home, and literally there's like no one in the park, and it's like 12:15, and there's literally no one there, and like the cast members are like pretty much chasing you to get you out of the park, and like your parents are just like, okay, we have to go, like it's time to leave, and it's like 12:30, and you're just bawling your eyes out, and you can literally, you're just so sad, you're just like, no, I'll never return. And then like 9 months later, you're like, oh, I'm back, okay, and then it's all cool again. And then another thing I remember too is I always used to wake up in the morning, like after, and I used to wake up like really early, and my parents would never let me open my souvenirs till like the next morning. You know, because they're like, oh, we're gonna lose the pieces to it or whatever. I used to be like, no, I won't lose them or something. And then, I'd just fall asleep in the car and forget about it. But then in the next morning, I'd wake up and like, I have Disney souvenirs, and I'd like run in the. I remember they'd always be in my laundry room, and like on the washing and dryer. It was like my garage was like over here, like my old garage. It was like over here. That was like the washing and like the laundry room, and then my room was like right here, like literally like the first room, like from the garage, or it's hard to explain, but there's like the garage, laundry room, there was like the hall, and my room was like over here. So I'd always like get up from bed and like, oh my gosh, like run out and like get my bag and I'd like go in my room and like rip all the stuff open. I'd be like, yes, souvenirs, and I'd be like freaking out. But yeah, that's kind of like, or I guess it's not really a bad memory, but it's just like, you know, I remember that. Like I think we all remember that. And another thing, it felt like, I'm talking about the California Disneyland, by the way, and I feel like every single time when you're like 5 years old to 10 years old, you know, like when you're young, kind of, I remember I'd be like sitting in the stroller and the castle would be like miles away. You're like, oh, you're like running, you're sitting in the stroller, like it's taking forever to get to the rides, and you're like all like pissed off. And it was so funny. And anyway, so next, my favorite food place. Now there's actually gonna be a second food place and a first food place. So this is gonna be like 3 and 4 or something. I don't know. But my favorite food place is by far Rancho del Zocala or something like that. But it's in Frontierland, and it has Mexican food, and I love Mexican food. So every time I go to Disney, like I feel like most places they don't really give you a good portion, but when you go there, you can get like a giant like burrito, and it actually fills you up, and you're like, oh, and it's actually really good too. It's not just like, oh, it's like okay, you know, like it's really freaking good. And you can get a bunch of other stuff there too. There's like different types of chicken, meat, like all this stuff. But as you know, it's quarantine, so I mean, obviously you can't go there now, but this is just a little piece, so you guys can be like, oh, you know, like I remember that, you know, and be like, anyway. So my second favorite food place. Now, I haven't eaten everywhere, but I think my favorite food place my second favorite food place would have to be River Belle Terrace. I only went here once, but it's like right next to Tarzan Treehouse, and it's super good. It actually gives you nice portions, and it's kind of expensive, But I mean, everything is expensive at Disney. So I mean, not an exact surprise. But you go there and you can get like all this stuff, but I got a spicy jalapeno chicken sandwich and it was amazing. So that's my second favorite place. And it's really cool. They have a bunch of like paintings of like steamboats and stuff. But that's like right in like the Pirates of the Caribbean area. Like Tarzan's Treehouse is kind of like behind it in a way. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah. And next is my least favorite food place. Now, most of the food at Disney is pretty good, but I have to say the Ronto Roasters from Galaxy's Edge are not very good. I mean, I kind of like them, but not really. I mean, they were not very good, in my opinion, at least. Some people say they're good, and some people don't, I guess, but I don't really care for them. You know, it's not really worth the money, and it doesn't really fill you up either. It's kind of like this weird, it's just a weird combination of a bunch of things. So, that's kind of my thing on it. So, now, the sixth thing is favorite treat. By far, my favorite treat is the churro. Those things are amazing. They're like freaking this long. Okay, maybe a little bit exaggerated. Maybe like something around this area, but they're really good. You literally cannot beat Disney churros. So, not really a big fan of ice cream, but I mean, I like the churros and the popcorn. The popcorn, I usually don't really like popcorn that much, but because but their popcorn is like salty, you know, it's not, I hate the popcorn where it's just like pure butter, you know, like I don't really like that, I don't know, but their popcorn's actually salty, so it's good, it's more like kettle corn, you know, but anyway, my favorite land, now my very favorite land would be Galaxy's Edge or Batuu, but I'm not going to say that because we're just going to pretend it's 2019 and Batuu hasn't opened yet, because all these answers on here would probably be about Batuu if I would have it my way. But I'm going to try to not do Batuu and just actually have everything be different. So it would be Batuu, but my other favorite land, so technically my second, and there's going to be another second favorite land, but that'd technically be my third. But I mean, I guess I can just say it's Batuu, but Batuu is just awesome. It's really nice. I mean, if you guys haven't gone, you have to go. Even if you're not Star Wars fans, it's still cool because it's fully immersive. Because if you go to any other land in the park, it's just like, oh, it's just a normal trash can, you know? In Batuu, they have like Star Wars trash cans and Star Wars Cokes and Star Wars water, and there's droids and there's stormtroopers everywhere, and it's unlike any land. So I mean, really cool. Anyway, second favorite land or I guess I can name 3 of them because I already kind of said Batuu didn't count, but my other favorite land is Frontierland because I've always liked the Wild West stuff, and it's part of like our culture, you know, it's like an actual like American thing, and that's what I like about it. It's cool, you know. And the next land, or now it's like technically the second favorite land, is either probably Adventureland. I was gonna say Tomorrowland, but it's kind of bland, you know? It's just kind of like one, like, long, like, alleyway, sort of. I don't know, it's kind of boring, but Adventureland's pretty cool. But I also like Tomorrowland. And then we have favorite ride. I would say Smuggler's Run, like the Millennium Falcon ride. But then again, I don't, you know, I want to make it like I mean, that would be my favorite ride because it's so immersive. It's like, I'm flying the Millennium Falcon, and like you can crash, and it's like different every time you ride it, you know? But if it wasn't that, it would definitely be, See, the thing is, I have so many favorite rides there. Like, there isn't really a ride not to like. But for me, it'd probably be, probably Matterhorn. That's probably like one of my favorite rides because it's like, that was like one of my first rides. As you saw in one of my first memories of my visit to Disney, Matterhorn was like the top thing. Like, that's what I remember the most, and that's why it's like so nostalgic, I guess. When I ride that ride, I'm like, oh, I remember this. I remember how the cars used to be, and like, I don't know, it's cool. Anyway, the second favorite ride is probably Indiana Jones. Probably. I also like Big Thunder though, Big Thunder Mountain. And Space Mountain and Star Tours are pretty good too. But probably be Indy. Probably Indy. I like Indy. I don't know, I like the Adventureland area too, definitely. But my least favorite land. Now, this is pretty hard because I like them all. You know, it's kind of, and we're only talking about like Disneyland in this video, not really California Adventure. I should have said that earlier, but. And my least favorite land would probably be, probably Critter Country, like the bear area, because it's just in the corner of the park and it's so far and you're just like, ugh, you know, and it's just all the way over, and the only thing that's in it is like Splash Mountain, and it's just like, dang it, you know, like I have to walk all the way over here, you know, but yeah. And then my least favorite ride, I mean, I don't really have a least favorite ride, but what I do have is the wait times for certain rides. Now this sucks pretty bad because for some rides, it's like for Space Mountain and Splash Mountain. During summer, Splash Mountain is like a 4-hour wait. And it sucks because everyone's trying to go on it when it's like 110 degrees in California down here. So you're just standing there and you're just beating up with sweat. You have the upper lip sweats and you're like, oh, and you're just standing. And it even sucks worse when it's like back by like the Bear restaurant where there's like no shade there in the middle of the day and the sun's just beating down and you're like, oh, it's so hot and it sucks, and you're like, only like that last like drop or just drenches you completely. And actually another thing I remember is another first memory is I was like 4. I just remember going on Splash Mountain and I was literally soaked head to toe, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it was just horrible. But I guess that'd be like my least favorite memory, I guess. Just being soaked. I was just dripping wet like as a little kid. Just like drip, drip, you know, and it's just like, oh, you know, like that sucks. But yeah, my least favorite ride would probably be Space Mountain because it's always like a 4-hour wait or something. Every single like time I go, it's like a 4-hour wait. I've seen it like a 45-minute wait once, and all the times I've been there, 45 minutes once, and it's like, it's just a dark roller coaster. Like, isn't there better things? Like, I don't know. But and then too, in the summer, it's so hot. And it's one of the most boring queues. Like there's just like the ramp, and then you're just like standing like outside and under the little like cover things, and you're just like standing there, and you're just like, are you kidding me? Like this sucks. But yeah, so that was number 12, least favorite ride. Now my favorite piece of merch. Now this is pretty hard because I had multiple pieces of merch, like this, like that blaster. I had these things over here, the gauntlets, and those are all cool, but I think my favorite piece of merch was, it was cool, I had this little Star Tours ship about this big, and the thing opened up and it had like all the seats in it, and it was just a cool little toy. It had little sound effects. You were able to press the little buttons where like the engine would be on the back, like making a little sound and stuff, and that was probably my coolest thing. But right now, probably the Han Solo DL-44 blaster. That's actually life-sized. Now, if you didn't see my last couple of videos, you should go watch part 1 and 2 of my, what was it called? Like my Star Wars intro videos, I guess. But anyway, that's my favorite piece of merch. Right now, like I don't have it on hand. I don't know exactly where it is, but I know I still have it somewhere, hopefully. But right now, it's the blaster. So my favorite character I've seen. Now, probably my favorite character are the Stormtroopers in Galaxy's Edge. And if it wasn't anything Star Wars, then probably be, I don't know, because I don't really pay attention to characters that much. I just like the rides and the atmosphere. But the Stormtroopers actually come up to you and you're like, hey, are you a rebel spy? And you're like, hi, and you're just standing there and like if you're watching these videos, it's like, oh, like I can totally handle that. But no, you go there and it's just like this giant, like, he's like holding like this blaster, and you're like, like, and you just get like so freaked out, and you just don't know what to say, and you're like, answer the question, and you're like, well, and like, it's pretty cool. Those are probably like my favorite, probably. I mean, Kylo Ren's pretty good too, but he's not always there. The Stormtroopers are always walking around, you know, just like the little pair of them. But yeah, so now there's some Star Wars stuff coming out. So favorite Star Wars ride. Now, definitely Smuggler's Run, because the only options here are Star Tours, Smuggler's Run, and Rise of Resistance. But I didn't get to ride Rise of Resistance. And, I mean, Star Tours is a classic, but Smuggler's Run is just like the next step up, I guess. You know? But, yeah. Definitely Smuggler's Run is quite immersive and just a really good ride. It's just so cool when the first time you fly it and you're just sitting there with the controls and you're like, wow, like I'm in the freaking Millennium Falcon, you know? And it's sick. And then, your favorite shop to shop in. Now, my favorite shop would probably be Star Trader. Like right when you come out of Star Tours, there's that Star Trader shop, and that's where I got this, and the little Star Tours ship I had. And I also built a lightsaber there. I remember. It had the little Count Dooku hilt piece, and it was purple. I remember. And I remember my parents were like, okay, what color do you want? And I'm like, I have a blue one at home, I have a green one at home, and I have a red one at home. So I have to get a purple one because I don't have a purple one. And I remember that. It was, oh, I forgot about that thing. That thing was cool though. I remember. But yeah, so definitely Star Trader for shop because I literally bought all of these things from it. And least favorite shop. This one's a little tricky, but probably probably the Winnie the Pooh shop over in Critter Country because it's just like, what am I supposed to buy here? Like, there's not really anything, and every time I go in that shop, it's just like, I feel like it's just crammed, and so many little kids are in there, and the grown-ups have to follow them through so they don't get lost or whatever, and it's just always crammed, and I don't know, it's not good over there, but yeah. So my favorite thing that Disney has done is definitely make Star Wars Land. It's definitely the favorite, the most like best thing that Disney has done is make Star Wars Land, for me at least. And the least favorite thing that Disney has done, also with Star Wars Land, is, or I guess it's not like the least favorite thing that they did. Actually, there's two things to this. One thing is I was there, and literally, I was trying to get to Rise of Resistance, right? This is a story right here. And literally, I wake up really early, and we're at the park, and there's a line to get in, right? So we're on the phone, on our phones, trying to get in, right? Trying to leave a reservation, right? And it says you can't leave a reservation until you're in the park. And by the time we were in the park, we couldn't do a reservation. And I'm like, dang it. Oh my gosh, you know? And we woke up like pretty early too. It was like 6 or something, but supposedly you have to wake up at like 4 to get there. Like, so stupid, but whatever. And then the other thing is, the least favorite thing now is them taking out Rainforest Cafe. Probably my favorite place to eat in downtown Disney, and they just freaking took it out. And ESPN Zone too. Those are my two favorite places to eat down there. They took them out. I'm like, oh my gosh. You have to be kidding me. Now, a couple bonus questions for you guys. Now, my favorite thing during each season we'll start at Halloween because it's Halloween right now, and for Halloween my favorite thing to do is definitely I lost my train of thought, but I always like walking past like Main Street, like walking through Main Street and just seeing the giant pumpkin. I feel like that was always like the most Halloween thing to do, you know? Just walk past and just be like, oh my gosh, it's a pumpkin, you know? But then I feel like some other cool things to do are, I guess when I was a kid I trick-or-treated there once, and that was pretty cool. And like there's like these little stations everywhere, and they're like, oh, here's some candy, and they would go like a giant handful, and oh my gosh, it's a giant freaking handful, and it just ends up being little like fun sizes, and you're like, yeah, the handful they gave was like a little handful because like half of it was like plastic wrappers, but whatever. And then during wintertime, during wintertime is usually when I go, like when I don't have an annual pass. That's usually like when I go. So I guess that's like my favorite time to go, I guess. Is you go in during Christmas time and there's like all the Christmas decorations up. And usually that's like part of my Christmas present. So it's like, oh, perfect, you know? And then during spring, I mean, they don't exactly have like spring stuff, I guess. But during spring, probably one of my favorite things to do is, I don't really know. I mean, they don't really have anything extraordinary for spring. I mean, I just like going there as it is. So, and then for summer is ride Splash Mountain. Definitely Splash Mountain. That's the only thing is hours of waiting. You're just sweating, and then when you finally get drenched in the end, you're like, that was nice. And then you dry up in like 2 hours and you're hot again. But so then the last question. My favorite versions of Star Tours, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, and Matterhorn. Those are the only 4 that I think have had different like versions. So, her version of Star Tours is probably the original, because I'd like to go back. Like if it was there now, I'd go back and ride it. Because I remember a little bit of the original one, but the second one now is probably just better because there's like more, I don't know how to put it, but there's like more like experiences, I guess. So that's pretty cool. But then Haunted Mansion, probably like, this one's kind of hard because it's kind of the same thing in a way, to me at least. But probably the Nightmare Before Christmas one, because if I remember correctly, I think there's like a smell, like some smells, and like, oh no, they always have the smells. But I always like it in Haunted Mansion how they just go through the ballroom. And there's like that smell, like not the Haunted Mansion smell, but like the smell of, it's like baking, like cookies or cake or something. It just smells so good, and you're like, ah, and it's like nice. But yeah, probably like the Jack Skellington, like the Christmas and Halloween theme, because I've actually watched that movie and I can like relate to it. And there is a Haunted Mansion movie actually that you guys can go watch on Disney Plus. If you look it up, there actually is a Haunted Mansion movie. And I've watched like a little bit of it before, but I don't exactly remember much. But yeah. And then Space Mountain is definitely classic Space Mountain. I know there is Hyperspace Mountain, which is kind of like Star Wars, but the thing is just kind of, I don't know. Like it feels like kind of like it's not a very good version, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Like it feels like they didn't really work too much on it. They just like added in a couple things, and they're just like, whatever, you know. But I also like the Halloween Space Mountain too. I also like that one. That one's pretty cool. Ghost Galaxy, I think it is. But Matterhorn, I definitely like the one they have now, because, I mean, it's way better. I like how you go up the lift hill, and you can like see the guy in the ice, like the monsters in the ice, and you're like, that's so cool, and it looks like pretty real, actually. So, yeah, there's my video. 2020 Disney questions, or something like that. I don't know, but make sure to subscribe and like if you've made it this far in this quite long 30-minute video, but yeah. And this video is pretty easy for me because I literally did nothing. I literally just took it from the camera and put it into the computer, and it's like, oh, it's done. And yeah. So again, thank you for watching. Make sure to drink water. I don't have water with me, but make sure to drink water because it's good for you. And I'll see you guys next time.